Hello everyone and welcome to my channel Y&R Trends. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. After capturing Matt, Jack makes an offer to Victor. Today on Young and Restless, Audra and Holden clear the air. Jack tells Diane he turned to Kane for assistance, and Phyllis advises Kane to stop harboring feelings for Lily. Check out the most recent Y&R recap. Jack offered Kane an offer. Lily was accused of sending conflicting signals, and Nikki and Michael intended to blame Kane. When Jack gets home, Diane joins him with wine and he carefully sets his coat on the sofa. He tells her about Lily pulling Kane down a peg and wants to talk about her yearnings. But he acknowledges that he has discovered a way to obtain evidence that Victor has been utilizing the AI. He gives Kane the opportunity to win and earn money by providing proof against Victor. They discuss Kane's enormous ego and all of his regrets. After the hit he's received, he needs to show himself to the world. Kyle enters and smugly declares that they now have the most negotiating leverage. It turns out that a man from Sharon and Nick's past has returned and is tormenting them. He says that he has the security team monitoring the activity at the ranch. He tells them about how they caught Matt after he got out of the collision. Jack is startled to see Matt, who says he's Mitch. Holden chases Audra down at Crimson Lights after she drops a glove. Jack calls Victor right away to tell him he has Matt and suggests they make a deal. He claims he hasn't informed Claire everything yet. She believes Claire hasn't reported them to the police yet. She warns him that he will also fall if she does. He is tired of keeping the truth to himself. She inquires as to whether he too enjoys fresh air. Audra can tell that he regrets saving her life after they eradicated a man off the face of the planet. She claims that although he was the first decent man she encountered in Los Angeles, he is currently mistreating her. When he saw her in Genoa City, he reminds her of how cruel she was. She adds that she had to forget about LA, something she now regrets. Why did our friendship turn like this? She inquires. Since she would have had to consider the past, she was unable to explain anything. She has been pushing him away and he can see why. He was too preoccupied with being insulted to consider the reason. She finds it hard to comprehend his intense desire to win Claire over. Holden claims she was more endearing as Audra Cortez. She has walls up now and dealing with that is draining. They remember that once they got rid of the body, he had to reassure her. In order for them to have a hazy sense of time, he suggested that she go to another bar and hang out with inebriated people. Audra informs him that even though they are no longer friends, they will always be connected. He promises to remain quiet if she leaves Claire alone after they dispute over how rude she is to her. When Billy gets home, Sally has Nibbles waiting to express her gratitude. They mock each other for giving in, and she moans as she pushes his chest. She acknowledges that everything they have may vanish. He believes she's trying to convince herself that everything is fine, but he believes she's waiting for him to lose it once more. He acknowledges that he overheard her discussing the potential for him to crash out with Victoria. Billy acknowledges that she doesn't need to be gentle with him, because he is also concerned. He is determined to repay her for everything she has given him, so he ought to have to prove himself to her. She deserves it. She informs him of his enlightenment. He tells her he's deep since he had a podcast. Sally recalls that they were betrayed, which is how they ended themselves together. She can't bear the idea of being apart from him, and is afraid of what might happen. He guarantees that he is capable of handling all of her demands. He walks into the other room to think when he believes she is asleep, but she interrupts and they discuss his brother and the situation at Jabot. She says his dedication and honesty are sexy. They make out and then have sex in the bedroom. All he wants is to keep his siblings safe. Sally reminds him that they can use the AI to produce a story on Newman. Not now, he says. She advises them to return to their hotel or go dancing. At the GE bar, Phyllis finds Kane and begins pressuring him to enjoy being Dumas instead of Kane. She refuses to leave him alone since she is a wonderful person, and begs him not to treat her like a punching bag. He could be so much fun as Dumas, Phyllis assures him. He wouldn't be harboring feelings for a woman. He would act carelessly. Kane says, his company is dead and so is he. She queries whether he has thought about taking the AI back and destroying Newman. His eyes indicated yes, even though his tongue said no. Kane is adamant that he has no interest. She tells him he doesn't know what he wants and vows she won't allow his moody guy thing drive her away as he eats. She won't take a clue and will support him. Phyllis informs him that Lily doesn't want him after he tells her that he and Lily kissed and were on the verge of reconciliation before she made the decision to leave town. He shouldn't be playing her game because she is so much more holy than you. She tells him that Lily and regular people are both terrible, venting about how Lily has never helped him. She informs him that the romantic haze he sees Lily in is unreal, and that they can take over the world together if he agrees. She feels the same way for Nick. Wallowing in it is pointless. Instead, she exhorts him to join her in conquering the globe. Maddie texts him to tell him not to get in touch with Charlie or her. Jack offered to collaborate with Kane to defeat Victor. Kane informs Phyllis. Why would he collaborate with Jack when he could collaborate with her, she wonders. When Billy gets there, he sees them together. Billy overhears Phyllis telling Kane that she just wants to assist him in exacting revenge on Victor. He tells Sally that he must let Phyllis know the agreement is off. On Wednesday's episode of The Young and the Restless, the conflict between the Abbotts and the Newmans took an unexpected turn when Matt Clark was apprehended by Kyle's security team and brought into the Abbott home. Jack gains a weapon as Audra makes peace. Jack called Victor right away and made a bargain. While Audra and Holden made peace and faced their tragic past, Kane's dreams for reconciliation with Lily were dashed when she sent a vicious text severing all ties. Phyllis then intervened with her own scheme to destroy Victor. When Jack comes home, Diane inquires as to his whereabouts. Jack informs her that he has discovered a method to obtain concrete evidence that Victor possesses the AI program, from the most unlikely of sources. At the club he discovered Kane. He clarifies that Lily left just before he got there, so he spoke with Kane and requested evidence that Victor possessed the AI. Diane was taken aback by Jack's generous promise to compensate Kane for it. Kane Ashby may be the solution to their issues after all the people they've contacted. Kane is an odd ally and Jack concurs. He claims that Kane now regrets building the AI monster. Jack winces as Diane claims that his main regret is that he allowed it to be stolen. It must have cost Kane a lot of money. They need evidence that Victor has the AI program, so Diane asks if Kane consented to assist them. Kyle enters. He claims that they now have the strongest negotiating position against Victor. A man from Nick and Sharon's past has arrived in town, and he had their security team pursue Victor's family. Diane wants to know how Victor is involved in this. According to Kyle, their security team after Nick as he drove this man in his vehicle, and after what appeared to be a battle, the vehicle crashed. The Abbott security crew followed the man, who is okay but Newman's nemesis, after he fled. They also phoned the police. He grabs his phone and makes a call. The Abbott security crew drags Matt Clark through the door saying, "Bring him in." Jack is taken aback. How on earth is this possible? He finds it unbelievable that Matt Clark is still alive. He is certain that Matt must be responsible for Nick and Noah's hospitalization. They're all crazy, Matt says, so there must be something in the water here. He declares that he is Mitch Bacall, and that the only reason he came to Genoa City was to find his wife. Jack chuckles. Yes, you did. He grabs his phone and leaves a message for Victor. Matt Clark is here. Maybe it's time for us to reach an agreement. When Phyllis enters, she finds Kane alone with a drink at the bar. Aristotle Dumas would be kicking ass and taking names, she claims, so she knows he's not Aristotle. She requests that he share Aristotle with her. She should avoid everyone, including him, Kane advises her. Permanently. Phyllis claims she loves him and won't abandon him. She is curious about his whereabouts since she last saw him. Aristotle Dumas is fun, wonderful and irresponsible, and she admits she misses him. Kane claims that she made all of this up in her mind. Kane used Aristotle as a means of remaining incognito, but Phyllis doesn't trust him. She adores Aristotle and won't allow the fantasy to fade. According to Kane, both Aristotle and his company have passed away. Kane shakes his head in response to Phyllis's question about if he has given any more thought to reclaiming the AI and using it to take over Newman Enterprises. He's already declined. Although his lips said yes, Phyllis claims he said no. Kane responds that he is not Aristotle, and that he is uninterested when she tells him that he sealed it with a kiss. He's attempting to drink by himself. What has changed since Phyllis last saw him, she asks. They proceed to a table where Kane begins to eat. Kane begs her to stop bothering him. He desires a quiet supper. Phyllis declares that she won't allow his erratic behavior turn her off. She will support him when he needs it and is a team player. Kane lets out a sigh. This is not what he wants to do. According to Phyllis, he is unsure about his desires. When the girl entered, he was bawling in his beer over her. The wonderful thing about her is that she doesn't take a hint, and she will be there for him when he needs her. Why does he act so obstinately? According to Kane, he spoke with Lily, they shared a kiss, and they were on the verge of making amends when she informed him that she was moving out of town to avoid him. He is outraged that Lily closed the door in his face. Phyllis laughs. Is he taken aback? When he cut her out of his life to be with his father years ago, Lily made her point. Lily is so superior to everyone else. Kane must give up her games. He is the reason Lily is leaving town. She doesn't want him, which makes her Kane's enemy. Kane becomes enraged and begs Phyllis to spare him a moment. Phyllis assures him that she will support him, and that they can rule the world together. Why is he holding out? Why is she so unrelenting, Kane wonders. Phyllis claims that although he thought he and Lily were ideal, it wasn't true. He must take charge and rule the world with her, instead of moping about it. Lily sends Kane a text message. I talked to Charlie. Give up texting and calling. He puts down his phone and adds, we're officially cutting all ties. Jack was present and he wants to work with him to defeat Victor. Phyllis gives a nod. He does, of course. Given that Jack possesses her, why would Kane partner with him? Holden rushes up to Audra and returns the glove she left at the counter as she grabs a coffee. Thanking him, Audra remarks that none of them has yet been arrested by the police. His little poisoner. Claire must not have said anything to them. Holden claims that he hasn't yet told Claire what else transpired in Los Angeles. Why hasn't he told her? Audra wonders. Does he not trust Claire? She warned him that he would burn too if she did. Holden says he's tired of keeping the truth to himself. Audra reminds him that if he says anything, they could both go to jail. Holden was responsible for a man's death, and he buried him in an unmarked grave. Holden claims that he was defending her, and that it was an accident. Audra is aware that he was shielding her at the time, but it's clear that he now regrets it. He was the first decent man she ever encountered in Los Angeles, she said. He treated everyone like a person, but today he treats her quite differently. Holden claims that she treated him as if he didn't exist when he first arrived in Genoa City. Audra concurs. She was cruel and wished to distance herself from Holden. She hates how she treated him today, but she wanted to keep what occurred in Los Angeles in Los Angeles. Holden knows why she was so unfriendly to him. If she had only told him earlier, he wouldn't have persisted. According to Audra, that would have required reflection, and people were looking into her relationship with him. In order to prevent others from discussing it, she had to shove him away. Holden claims that if it weren't for Claire, he would have avoided her. Claire's background is something Audra enjoys bringing up, but what about Audra's? Audra claims that Holden is part of her past. They may never be friends again because of their relationship, but why is he attempting to earn favor with Claire? Is she really so important to him, and is Audra really that unimportant? She reminds Holden of the Audra Cortez he knew. That Audra was an artist who was full of smiles, laughed while dancing, and believed she could get away with anything. Audra questions whether he is implying that her neediness and pitifulness made her more likable. Holden chuckles. That isn't the case. Although they were friends, he always assumed they would support one another. Flashback. The shadow room. Audra and Holden return to the bar, which still has a bloodstain on the floor. He is not attempting to fight her. Holden encourages Audra to go somewhere else so she may have an alibi because she is terrified that the man who was after her is dead and has been placed in Holden's trunk. After he closes the bar, he will give her a call the following day. They won't ever have to consider this again. Audra lets out a sigh. Once more he saved her. In the present, Audra informs Holden that even if they are no longer friends, the events of that evening will always bind them together. Holden concurs, but he insists that Audra must leave Claire alone before he would remain silent. Audra concurs. As long as he fulfills his word, she will back off. When Billy returns home, He discovers Sally casually hanging out with some snacks. Audra grins and says perhaps she was mistaken about them never being friends again. He kisses her and remarks that everything looks good, including the snacks. Sally assures him that they're doing well at work and at home and claims to be rewarding him, but she's afraid that all could vanish overnight. Billy claims to have heard her discussing her concerns about Billy's ability to keep up with his improved self with Victoria over Christmas. Sally lets out a sigh. Rather than going to Victoria, his ex, she ought to have discussed that with him. Billy claims it's all right, but he's also concerned. He has promised things and then broken them. He doesn't want her to be lenient with him in order to boost his self-esteem. Every day, he must demonstrate it to her. He shouldn't put himself under strain, according to Sally. Billy wants to be a real partner to her, but he can sense that she is concerned about him. She is deserving. Sally gives him a gentle kiss. This was a conversation they need to have had long ago. Billy claims he doesn't want to set a poor example for his children on how to behave in a romantic relationship. He is committed to making Sally happy, and he has come to the realization that he must move out of both his own and Sally's way. Although Sally is content, she is afraid of what might occur. She has experienced several setbacks, but she has overcome them and moved on. She worries about them disintegrating. He has given her hope, which is why her heart is racing. She finds his honesty and dedication attractive. They end up in bed together after she gives him another kiss. After some time, they go back to the living room and discuss Victor's assault on Jack and Jabot. Billy is curious about how they can finish the evening. Sally believes they ought to visit the jazz lounge to dance. Billy smiles. He was thinking precisely that. Sally and Billy walk into the club. Billy glances around and notices Phyllis and Kane in the dining room. Sally accepts and goes downstairs when he instructs her to go to the lounge and find them a table. He'll be down in a minute. He has to tell Phyllis the deal is no longer on. Billy eavesdrops on Kane and Phyllis as he approaches their table. Phyllis informs Kane that she wants to be his partner rather than use him. They'll work together to take Newman Enterprises away from Victor. Is there a better way to exact revenge? Billy leaves without either of them noticing. Crystal Khalil, who plays Kane in The Young and the Restless, is taking maternity leave, so Kane will need to find something to do for a while other than pant after former wife Lily. In the soap opera's January 7th episode, which is recapped below, Lily said that she was leaving Genoa City and planned to visit her and Kane's children, Charlie and Maddie, for around a month, and escaping his unrelenting hunt for her. That is, for the former Aristotle Dumas, who had started to believe that he was finally making progress with Lily, the news is especially upsetting. On New Year's Eve, his fervent pleas even led to a romantic kiss. In fact, Lily might find the time awkward as well. As soon as she tells Kane that she's leaving, Phyllis, his former lover, is whispering in his ear and urging him to explore his evil side once more, something his ex would undoubtedly disapprove of. Kane might be sporting a black hat instead of his typical gray one by the time Lily returns in a few weeks. The news that Khalil and husband Sam Restagno were expecting their second child together started to circulate back in October. Remy, the couple's firstborn kid, will be 2 in March. In April, Michael Caden, Khalil's son from his first marriage to Stephen Hensley, will turn 16. Jack Abbott stood face to face with Victor Newman in the dimly lit interrogation room, the tension between them thicker than ever, yet unmistakably altered by the circumstances that brought them together. Matt sat restrained behind the glass, bruised, defeated, and finally silenced after weeks of terrorizing Genoa City. Jack wasted no time savoring the victory. Instead, he leaned in, voice low but steady, and made Victor an offer that stunned even the great Victor Newman himself. Jack explained that Matt's capture wasn't just about justice, it was leverage. Evidence Matt possessed could dismantle multiple Newman interests if it ever reached the wrong hands, and Jack now controlled that narrative. Rather than gloating, Jack proposed a truce. He would ensure the evidence stayed sealed, testimony carefully managed and fallout minimized, but only if Victor agreed to step back from a covert campaign that had been undermining Jabot for months. Victor scoffed at first, accusing Jack of overestimating his position, yet the flicker in Victor's eyes revealed concern. Jack pressed on, reminding Victor that endless war had cost them both too much. Families fractured, lives endangered, and enemies like Matt thriving in the chaos they created. This was not surrender, Jack insisted, but strategy. A ceasefire that allowed them to focus on protecting their children rather than destroying each other. Victor studied Jack in silence, the hum of the fluorescent lights underscoring the moment's gravity. Finally, Victor acknowledged the truth he hated most. Jack had played this perfectly. While he didn't accept outright, Victor admitted the offer was worth considering, a rare concession that spoke volumes. As Jack walked away, he knew this deal could reshape Genoa City's power balance forever, or ignite a new, even more dangerous war if Victor chose betrayal over peace.